Hi, I'm Debbie from Simply Special Crafts, and for those of you who have been asking, here's Teddy. Everybody wants to say, but we want to see the dog. What's happening with the dog these days? Well, Teddy is getting bigger and bigger. He's now about 11 or 12 pounds, and we found out he's a miniature rather than a toy, so he's going to get a little bigger than we thought he was. My husband says if he grows as big as he could as a miniature, he'll probably have to have his own room and a social security card, but we'll see. Anyway, for those who've been asking, here's Teddy. Our camera person today is Brittany, and today we're going to take a look at the Christmas Reflections kit. So without further ado, let's take a look at our kit. But for those who were asking, there was Ted. Okay. Today we're going to talk about the Christmas Reflections kit from Hunkydory Crafts. This is really special. This one is made on mirror boards, so it's a Mirri magic kit. In the luxury set for this, you get 2 each of 4 different designs, so you get a total of 8 topper sets. That means you get 16 pieces of matching cardstock, 8 toppers, and Hunkydory says this will make at least 16 cards. Well, of course, we're going to get way more than that. So let's take a look at some of the other supplies I used. I didn't use a lot. In fact, you might be a little surprised with how little I have embellished these, because these toppers are so beautiful and so deep and so rich with that mirror board. I really didn't want to do a lot of extra to them. So I used some gold mirror board. I used the sapphire shimmer paper. Brittany tells me we're out of that, so I'm going to recommend to you that you substitute the ocean color velveteen, because this is just going to be spectacular with those toppers. Let me show you what we're talking about. That is just going to be beautiful together. So it's not going to take a lot. We didn't use an awful lot of this backing paper, but I will recommend to you how many sheets of this you're going to need per set in our newsletter. We of course have the matching Christmas Reflections inserts. This contains 16 sheets for those who are interested in the inserts. And then the only other supplies I used were some cutting dies. I repeated this one that I used in the last video. This is from Yvonne Creations. It's the traditional Christmas Merry Christmas. I used this one in the last video as well. This is the Breezy Snowflakes from Memory Craft. I really like these because not only can you use the outsides, and we have some nice small pieces. In every case you can use the insides too if you're interested in doing that. So I think this is a lot of fun, and I put this on special sale for you. I used the Christmas Sentiments 2014 pretty liberally with this set. This is a little bit spendy. I did put it on sale for you. It's on sale for $34.95. It's still, I realize that's still a chunk of change, but this die set was recommended to sell for, originally recommended to sell for about anywhere from $15 to $25 more than that when it came out. You get lots and lots of small words, and these small words just work beautifully on these cards. So I do have an extra special sale price for you on this one. And then I used this. Now, I'm not going to necessarily recommend to you that you run out and buy this. If you want to, great. I'll put it on the supplies list. But really, on one of my cards, I was trying to use a small topper on a larger card, and I just wanted a mat for it. So you could really do the same thing with almost any kind of a shape die. But I used that, and then I thought that this ribbon pack that we put together was terrific for this set. This is called the Non-Traditional Colors Christmas Ribbons, and it just has some really fun pieces that work well with this card set. We've got purple, light blue, we've got this really gorgeous cobalt blue, some burgundy, we have the little trees and the snow. It's just a really pretty dice or a ribbon set, And it's only $5.95. You get a bunch of pieces of ribbon, and I use this pretty liberally in my kit. So this is recommended if you don't have a huge ribbon stash already, or if you want to replicate our card designs. This would be the ribbon pack that I use. Let's go ahead and get started in looking at some of these designs. We'll start here with a topper set called The Wonder of Christmas. Again, Hunkydory says this is going to make 2 cards. I say, no, I think let's make 6 cards out of this one, which was pretty fun. Let me see if I can get it out of the package. That's always my toughest part. Here's our topper set. Absolutely love these stags. Oh my gosh, they're beautiful. So we have 4 nice toppers on here. We got the old classic mailbox, that penguin family, and then 2 beautiful stags, plus some little embellishment pieces. Here's that penguin family again, and I love this rich blue cardstock, gorgeous. And here's our wonderful stag again. So you can see where I'm getting all of those toppers. There's my 6 cards right there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's take a look at them. Starting with that little mailbox. On this one, I have simply covered my cardstock, or covered my card base with a piece of this one here. Where did I get this? This out of this set, maybe?
It doesn't.
Yeah, it is.
Does it?
I think I grabbed a piece from one of the other sets, guys. I could very well have used this one. I had plenty of this one left over, but it looks like I used a backer from one of the other sets. Oops. That happens when I have a mess on my craft table. I took a piece of my gold mirror board. I cut a smaller piece of that shimmer, and again, in this case, I'm going to recommend that you try this velveteen paper, which I think would be just spectacular with that. Put my little topper. This is a great way to make a smaller topper fill a card. I used one of my little snowflakes, and I used my Season's Greetings off of that small die set. Isn't that pretty? I love that. I think it's really, really attractive. Next up, we got that pretty stag, and I covered my background with this corner. I just used my topper, and I put my festive wishes up on some additional foam tape. So this actually has two foam squares stacked here, and then 1 foam square resting on the topper, since this was already on one. So to keep this level, I put 2 just on this side. But isn't that pretty? Okay, next up, we've got this stag. And on this one, I've covered my card with gold mirror board. I used just a trim piece of my my sapphire paper. Again, this would be really, really pretty with this. So I've got the stag, and then I have cut some snowflakes down. In this case, you'll notice that these snowflakes are stackable. So in this case, I put the little centerpiece back into it because I wanted it to be just a little heavier. I used the open one here, and here I actually stacked a couple of my stacker pieces, and I used that Merry Christmas again. And I just think this card is spectacular. I love the way that looks. The next stag piece, I covered my card with this. I used that small topper, and I used that really wonderful brown and Christmas tree ribbon out of our non-traditional ribbons pack. I just think that couldn't be cuter. That's really adorable. And I love the way those colors come together. Moving on to the penguins. I took this piece here, I backed it with some gold mirror board. I took a little piece of the ruffle from here You don't have to use it in the direction that they show it. I cut my cardstock from wherever I want it, and I took this one from right here. Wishing You Love came from my little sentiments pack from Tattered Lace. 3 of my fun little stars, and that's all it needed, guys. It just really, these images carry themselves on that mirror board. And finally, this one is the largest topper set on the sheet. This one I mounted my topper and my inside frame flat down to my 5x7 card, and then I cut around it all the way around the outside to create a special shape card. I put my centerpiece up on some foam squares, and I put some foam squares on top of that to a special family at Christmas, and I just think that's as cute as it can be, and how simple. So we got 6 beautiful cards from this one set. Let's look at them again here. 6 cards, one set. And the only thing we've brought in was a little bit. We brought in we obviously used our own card bases, but we brought in some mirror board, and we brought in just a little bit, just a bit of trim from here. So we used a little bit here. So I guess on this set, I would say that we actually used about less than a 4x6 inch sheet of this on this set. So a half a sheet will certainly do you with room to spare. Okay, let's look at our next set. I'll stop throwing them across the table. This set is called The Joy of Christmas. This was called The Joy of Christmas, and it's got a lot going on this topper set. We've got kind of the familiar scene that Hunkydory likes to use of the toy shop window. We've got this series of 3 windows here. We've got one with our fireworks going off in a snowy scene. I think that's really cool. We've got this snowy scene here where we're making a snowman. We've got 3 different greeting tags. We've got best wishes for the new year over here. Let's see what we did with this one. We also have, I love this one. Isn't that pretty? Look at that reddish sky. That's gorgeous. And then we have a simple piece of gold and green cardstock that I think is really, really pretty. Let's see what we did here. I'll start with this one because I used that that green gold. Now you don't usually see me put a lot of toppers on this sheet, but I did like the idea that I had the 3 windows, and on their package they actually showed a sample doing this one this way, and I thought it was pretty. It could have used a little larger card if I was going to do all 3. After I started this, I almost wondered if I should have used like a 4x8 so I could have spaced these just a little more. Although had I done that, there would not have been room for these. I do like the way it turned out. It does look like an awful lot of toppers on one card compared to what you normally see me do. But I did like having the windows all together. You could easily separate this and do even more cards. Where I have one here, you could easily do this in 3 cards if you chose to do that. And these would have been really cute still. So think about that. There's one. I thought the one with the fireworks looked specifically like a New Year's scene. So I did best wishes for the new year with that one. And I just took it, put it on a piece of my leftover background cardstock, added 1 snowflake and best wishes for the new year. And I just didn't think it needed more than that because I thought that was really pretty. I love the way this one came out. I used the burgundy ribbon out of our non-traditional ribbon. I tied a triple for those of you who are following the ribbon tying techniques here. I tied a triple bow and then just put down my ribbon over my cardstock before I attached it to my card, so it's anchored in the back. Added my Merry Christmas, and I just thought that was beautiful. Didn't need anything else. You really get a depth of color in these Mirri Magic that you just don't see otherwise. It's really, really pretty. And it's interesting and fun that when you look at the windows and things in these, you kind of get that shine of the silver through that you wouldn't normally see. And here's my fourth card. And here we're out making our snowman. I put this on a little piece of gold mirror board before I put it down on my darker background. And this one I used my Happy Winter words off of my tattered lace dice out one snowflake, and I just didn't think it needed more than that. So cute. This could have had a little bow, by the way. I had a little bit of this. I could have put just another little bow here if I wanted, because that burgundy went so well with the background. So there's another thought for those of you who might want just a little more on it. So we got 4 cards from this set, which isn't bad. Hunkydory says we get 2, but if you want to, you could probably get 6. Okay. Next up, this time we've got the Magic of Christmas luxury topper set. Again, Hunkydory says you're going to get 2. I say you're going to get 4 or more. Here's the toppers, 1, 2, 3, and then there is a small one, a couple little cute snowmen here. You got some beautiful background card. I love the way this gold is kind of modeled. That's really pretty. And we've got Santa Claus flying off in front of the moon with a beautiful village scene at the bottom here. Let's see what we did with those. I took my...
I accidentally cut off the top of it by the time I got it moved.
I took that large topper that you see on the topper set. I cut a piece of the background with the village, and I thought it looked really cute just to take that 3-piece topper. I put my outside ring up on foam squares, glued my center down flush, added foam squares in behind, my Santa over the rooftops, a little ho 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 Merry Christmas, and it just didn't need more than that, guys. It's just so cute. Next up, I took that large scene off the edge of that cardstock, and I just cut it off, put it on a 4x8, added that traditional Merry Christmas. Now note here, I'm using both the snowflakes and the inner parts of the snowflakes. So here I used the entire thing. Here I popped out a centerpiece, here I popped out a centerpiece, but look, here it is right here. So I use the centers of those. Sometimes I use them in full and sometimes I use them in parts. Either way, they're really cute. And that traditional Merry Christmas just works so well with Santa scenes. Okay, here's our snowman. And this one is on a 5x5 card. I used the corner of my cardstock there, and I just broke that topper into 3 pieces on foam squares, glued down flush, back up on foam squares, added my sentiment on some foam squares. And again, I just don't think it needed more than that, guys. If you wanted to do this on a 5x7, you certainly could. You might try using that Merry Christmas and backing it in something dark up here if you wanted to do this on a 5x7, but really cute. Over here, this is the one that I said that I used. I wanted to make a mat out of something, and I happen to have made that mat using these, but you could really go any way you wanted to. I'm sure most of us have some shaped dies, so just choose a die of your choice. If you want those frames, I believe I have them, but if you have matte dies in your collection, just choose one that will kind of fit your space. And all I've done here is I did cover my card in my, again, I covered it in the shimmer, but we're out of that. This velveteen would be absolutely stunning with this card. I covered it in my velveteen. I put down a slightly smaller gold mat. I cut my mat here to fit behind my card. I ran my ribbon across from side to side just on the topper, not clear off the edges, and put my greeting and my Santa up on some foam squares. I think that's really cute. Teddy's helping here. If you're seeing a little bump of the camera, he's trying to get in my lap while I'm talking here because he's kind of a spoiled boy. Okay, here's our fourth set. We sell these both individually and in the luxury set. Again, if you buy the luxury set, you get 2 each of these. Great for sharing or for making 2 each of these cards. Or you can buy each set individually if there's one you just particularly love. I really enjoy this one. This one is called The Spirit of Christmas. We've got this beautiful dove with an olive branch in his mouth. I think that's just gorgeous. And it's silhouetted in front of the little village in the background. May the spirit of Christmas bring you peace. We've got the pretty church scene with carolers outside wishing you a joy-filled Christmas. We've got the nativity village in those bright colors. I love this polka dotted frame around there for some reason. That just really speaks to me. And then we've got 2 really beautiful borders and a bunch of little sentiments on here. This is just a really fun topper sheet. So we've got that one. We've got this whole beautiful nativity village here. And I love the way that they've drawn this clear out across the page. We're going to do some fun things with that. And then we have a really simple background. This is where that piece came from. We were talking about a minute ago. I grabbed the wrong background and used on that card. But this is where I took that from. If you happen to have a luxury set, that's not an issue at all. If not, simply substitute the cardstock that goes with that set. But I do think this is really beautiful. Look at that deep, rich blue. Gorgeous. Okay, let's see what we did here, because this was kind of fun. When I did this one, I made these 3 cards using pieces of this topper. I used the center of the topper only when I made this card, and I brought the topper up. I used a piece of my background card. I brought the topper up, or it's not cardstock, you substitute your velveteen here. I put Christmas blessings here, and I brought the centerpiece of that up into this scene. I think that's gorgeous, by the way. I really, really love the way that turned out. Then I took the pieces of the frame. Okay. I guess I'm going to have to do this because I can't show this otherwise. But I'll put it back in when I'm done. So let me get one that's already popped apart in pieces. I took this outside frame and I used it here to surround my nativity. And I made that into a topper, from which I made this card. Beautiful. Now again, I have it on sapphire, but take a look at how beautiful it looks if you put it on that velveteen. It'll be great. I just used the word Noel off of my tiny greetings from Tattered Lace. I used this piece. Pop it out carefully so it doesn't get all bent up. And I brought it down here I created a topper out of this piece here. And I love this card. It's very understated, but very elegant. I just put the word peace on it with a little star behind it, and I put a snowflake up here in the border. So I created this topper, and then I used a piece of cardstock from up here. 3 really beautiful cards from one piece of cardstock and one topper. So that's really kind of a fun way to take a look at using those toppers and backgrounds together to just really maximize what you can do with your cards. Put that back in my set. Okay. Next, we have the little church scene from here. And with that one, I've taken a piece of my background card. I've split my frame and I put the frame down flush and I put the chapel with the carolers up on foam squares. I took the little Silent Night, Holy Night, all is calm, all is bright sentiment. I cut a square of my gold mirror board just the same size, and I turned that on an angle, creating kind of a star here, which I thought turned out really fun. I put my wishing you a joy-filled Christmas up on some foam squares. The centerpiece is on some foam squares. I covered my card in gold mirror board, which really plays well with that star. I love the way that turned out. And finally, we have this peace dove, which is just beautiful. It says I covered my card in that blue cardstock again. I put Christmas blessings down the side because the banner word is really pretty. It has the dove with the olive branch in his mouth. Put this up on some foam squares. Put this up on some foam squares. May the spirit of Christmas bring you peace. One little snowflake, done. Love the way that turned out too. Okay, so this is the Christmas Reflections set from Hunkydory Crafts. We got, if I counted right, I think we got 19 cards from half of the set. So if you did just what we did with the luxury set, you'd have 38 cards. And remember that one card could actually be, you could actually do 2 more. So I can see where you could potentially get like 42 cards from this. Brittany just made an interesting point. I think that would have been fun. She recommended that this would have been a great one for a triple easel card. Remember the one, guys, where we take a 4x8 and we put one panel on each one, and then we have 2 folding in from the sides. Look at our past cards for the triple easel. This would have been really fun triple easel, and each one of these could have been the stopper. So that would have been perfect. She just wasn't here when I made it and couldn't recommend that, but this would be really, really fun for that triple easel technique that I've showed you. I did it with the Nutcracker card. So oh, she just found one. Look at you, Brittany. This is the technique we're talking about here. Oops, this is missing a piece though.
Oh. Yeah.
But you can still get the idea. If you did this technique with this card, this would have been perfect. So I'm going to recommend you try that. So think about that. We have the triple easel cards in the store. I will actually put a link to those in case you're interested. Or, as you know, by cutting your face of your 4x8 card, scoring it corner to corner, you can really easily make your own triple easel. But that would be a really, really fun idea for that toy shop set. So, I'm Debbie from Simply Special Crafts. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more of them, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you like what you're seeing, give me the thumbs up. That's my attaboy for getting in there and getting these videos done for you. And if If you would like to have links to all the products we used in this video, sign up for our newsletter, and we will gladly send that list out to you with all the links to the products we've used in our videos. I'm Debbie from Simply Special Crafts, and we'll see you next time.